My dear friend, every time I say to you that just when I thought everything was over, the facts change, a new aspect of the Fani Willis case changes, something gets worse, it's absolutely true. Because now we're looking at the entire Fanny Gate, Frau Fanny world as a criminal racketeering enterprise with cancerous tendrils and a weird form of criminal angiogenesis that spreads throughout the land of intimidation, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, threats, more and more and more collusion, fraud, corruption, all of which was made available, all of which was brought to the attention of the world by this idiot, this dimwit, this unsophisticated, blathering, bilious, this virago, shrew, this spiteful, mean, arrogant, bratty, as one of you said. Oh, this is wonderful. Let me just explain this to you. It gets better. I never knew this. All of which is responsible, or all of which was the product of Fani Willis, who all she had to do was just keep her mouth shut and just admit initially, yes, I had a relationship with Mr. Wade. That's it. And you could infer all you want. Well, was he qualified? Oh, I think he was most qualified. Did you pay him more than others? He's yes. This is my discretion. This is critical. Freddie Brown in his Band of Renown says, at the ends of day, does the case get dropped? I will say yes. Transformed, derailed, transmuted Freddie, changed into a more palatable, kind of like defanged, like we're going to take out the venom gland of this. It'll be sort of out of the interest of justice. What's going to happen next is all Fani has to do is to just give up the case. She won't do it. All she has to do to save her skin and everybody else's is just say, you know what? I give it up. And it all goes away. It's like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, nobody cares about him anymore. It's over with. It's a lame duck. She won't do that. All she has to do is say, I'm done with this. This is going to hurt justice. I cannot do anything that will in any way impede, affect negatively those individuals of whom you got it? So, my friends, we have a lot to talk about this morning. I just want to tell you, just hang on and get ready. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what to say about you. I don't know how to put into words how incredibly this is just. I mean, it's haphazard. It's reckless. No other way to say it. Do it. Do the right thing. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Oh, dear friends. And before we get started, let us now pay, as we always do, homage to our great friend. By the way, somebody who has been fighting and fighting and fighting indefatigably, inexorably, without surcease. The lovely and talented Mike Lindell from, of course, mypillow.com. But only use promo code Lionel. Why is that? I'll explain. Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers, my slippers. That's right, slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Simply and absolutely the best. Indeed, my friends, let's get deeper into the muck and the morass of this. By the way, our good friend Skibro the Hebrew says, Lionel, what were the 3 L's that would destroy a man? Liquor, ladies, and that's a good question. I'm sure some of our folks watching this will know, and I thank you so much for that. Now, let's get down to brass tacks here. What are we doing here? First, in the event you missed last night, the person who is the preeminent, the leader, the vanguard, the star of this, she will be the Johnny Cochran, so to speak, and the star of this is Ashley Merchant. Without a doubt. Ashley Merchant, watch her. I hope she gets good and decent a representation. She can write her ticket. Please be careful. Do not fall for this lunatic idiocy that is entitled how do I say this? The Fox News world, because, well, you know where that goes. Willie will thank you without any means of excess. Thank you excessively. I hope I can in any way provide exuding thanks for your immane generosity. Thank you for that. I mean that. Fox News would get her and put her into that Jonathan Turley trap where you talk for a minute and I really like him a lot. He's so goddamn boring, though. It's just so, some of the best people. He's one of the best. Andy McCarthy, fantastic. But you cannot allow somebody to speak for a minute. You can't. You can't, right, Willie Will? You can't. You can't do it. This is long form. I want you to understand what's happening here. I've got to take time to explain, to build it. See, when we get done every day and you walk away from this, you learn so many new things. You never realize this. It's like building a sauce. It's like building something, building flavors, building. So it's what a good chef will do. You build it. It takes time. And what she's being able to do is when you watch that Georgia Senate hearing, that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable. That was worth more than anything. And what she did was critically important. And every time somebody speaks, we learn something new. Every single time we learn something new. We learn something new about some new fact, some new aspect of this, some new take on this. Now, one of the things which is interesting, which I cannot believe. Look, I never practiced in Fulton or Cobb County, but I don't understand this. Let's take the case of Gabe Banks. Who in the hell is Gabe Banks? Gay Banks is an Atlanta-based lawyer whose wife works for the DA's office. And he called Mr. Bradley out of the blue the weekend after the motion was filed by Ashley and asked, "Are you the leak? Are you the leak?" Now, why is this important? Ashley Merchant said that Banks also represented Chris Campbell after he was subpoenaed by Ashley Merchant to testify. Christopher Campbell, a partner at Wade and Campbell, has received about $126,000 from the Fulton County DA's office since 2021, according to records. Willis, Frau Fani, hired him to provide services as a taint attorney. Please don't do that joke. Please don't do that joke. Please. It's a family show. A taint lawyer reviewing privileged evidence beginning in January 21 at a rate of about $150 an hour. Who was making the most? Nathan Wade, $200 an hour. So now we have Gabe Banks, a lawyer. A lawyer. Now understand what's happening here. This is what real careful lawyers do to make sure everything's on the up and up. You're thinking to yourself, I am not going to pick up the phone. I'm not going to call somebody. I'm not going to text anybody. Now I'm finding out he might be a part of a witness for the other side. A witness for the other side. Now, what he did initially was the right thing. What did he do? He filed a motion to quash, not squash, quash. A motion to quash the subpoena. Now, these things normally don't work. And it's a great idea. It sounds great, but it's one of those ones where you have this how do we say this? You basically are telling a court before anybody's had the chance to hear anything, destroy, quash the subpoena. By the way, do you know the noun for quash? When you quash something, what is it called? Is it called quashing? Is it called, what is it called? It's called quashal. Quashal. The act of quashing is quashal. Nobody knows this. So you can, the next time you talk to a lawyer friend, say, by the way, what is the noun? What is it called? When you, that act of quashing is called quashal. Invisible says, I heard China is invading thoughts. Well, that's interesting. We will get to that certainly later, and I thank you for that. There's a lot going on today. A lot. But I want to, and I think you can understand, focus on what is happening in this particular area and this particular version of what is happening. Now, what is so weird about this? What is so strange that here is this guy. And again, this is where I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Gabe Banks is a guy who called Bradley out of the blue the weekend and said, are you the leak? Are you the leak? What? And then the day after Banks called, Clarence Wade called Bradley's best friend to remind him of the attorney-client privilege. And this is the most important thing. So now you've got threats, intimidation. You've got stuff that is just, it boggles the mind that this is going on. This is the most important thing in the world. I would be nowhere near this. I would be to call somebody, do your motion to quash, put them on the stand, grill them, do whatever you want, because you can say, wait a minute, you were a part of This is interesting. You were a part of the firm. You work for the firm. You can argue something on behalf of an attorney-client privilege, whatever it is in court. That's groovy. No problem with that. But for you to pick up and say, are you the leak? Are you the one? If this is true, and of course, Gabe Banks could say, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That never happened. Could be. Assuming it was, dear God. Dear God. So now you have multiple levels of intimidation and witness tampering and obstruction of justice. Cindy Lee Yeager is able to testify that she was talking. She was in her office. And there was Terrence Bradley when all of a sudden he gets a call from Frau Fani, who basically says, look what they're doing to us. The words exactly, look what they're doing to us. You don't have to say anything. Quote, they are coming after us. You don't need to talk to them about anything about us. Do you understand? Gabe Banks, this. Then we've got more information, more. Now this is different. This to me is just kind of interesting. But this Manny Aurora who says, yeah, Bradley was telling me that they were doing it since 2019. Since 2019. Did you know that? Yeah, Manny Aurora, who was a law professor, and he was somehow involved in this, maybe in consultation or whatever. He was working on this, working on privilege or whoever. But he said, yeah, Terrence was telling me that Wade even had, I love this. I don't know why I love this, a garage door opener. This is, now stop for a second. Listen to me carefully. Do you recognize the fact? Are you aware of the fact? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you see? Do you see and do you understand that all she has to do to make this go away, for the most part? Now, you and I know how this thing works. All she has to do to make this go away is for her to voluntarily disqualify her office, to go before the judge, fall on her sword, and tell the court and tell the world, I believe that in the best interest of justice, in order to ensure that justice is heard and justice is had, and justice, that I believe it is incumbent upon me as an officer of the court and as an elected official of Fulton County to step aside once and for all and to do the right thing and to step aside. It's over with then. Think what happens. It goes away. It just goes away. Nobody cares about it. She's not involved in it. I'm not here anymore. She completely deflects all of the attention away from her. It goes to some attorney. They save the case. And you would think somebody from the Biden administration, and by the way, I don't know about you, but anyway, who's watching the State of the Nation tonight? Good luck. That's going to be a cluster. You got that one? But she won't do that. Isn't that interesting? She won't say, I've got to step down. No, she will. Very soon. It's a matter of time. But she's so obstinate. And they are acting like gangsters. Now, here's the thing which is the most interesting. Let's take this, let's add some spice to this stew, shall we say? Let's look at the fact of looking at her office, her immediate group as being part of a racketeering criminal enterprise. What? What if I were to show you theoretically a number of predicate acts such as theft and conspiracy to commit theft from the Fulton County coffers by engaging in a variety of all kinds of, you got it? Threatening witnesses, threatening people, being a part of this, bringing all these folks into this world, paying all of her cronies, these special district attorneys, the special grand jury. Nobody can remember who else a special. What's a special grand jury? I don't know. They can't indict, but it's special. Do you remember that Emily Kors? What was her name? Emily Kors. Remember that real creepy, strange, what was her name? Emily Kors, I believe. That really weird. Just go back and everybody, even CNN creeped out. Even CNN creeped out completely. It was one of those things that nobody's ever even seen before. She says, that's right. I don't know. Well, maybe. Well, is there any evidence that you could indict President Trump? I don't know. Could be. Maybe. That was the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life. And somebody should have said, and by the way, normally, as a matter of, you're not in the position of telling somebody that they have to keep their mouth shut. You know what I mean? You normally can't tell people this. You can't say, but a grand jury. Do you know why grand juries are secret? Let me explain. That's a very good question. Number one, they're important as secret because, first of all, during a regular grand jury, you want to be able to investigate without the bad guys knowing what you're doing. So they don't leave town. So they don't get wind of this. So they don't find out. So they also don't want to intimidate witnesses. A grand jury, and by the way, if ever there is to be on a grand jury, I'm not telling you listen, it's always an honor to serve your government in the capacity of a juror, but grand juries, federal grand juries, oh, Jesus, you're there forever. I mean, they call you and you got to go listen to this. And a grand jury is, as the great Saul Walkler said, a prosecutor can indict someone, a ham sandwich. I blew the line. You can indict a ham sandwich. Do you know that in a grand jury, you don't even have, you could be a subject, a target, or a witness. You can be subpoenaed. You can be told right off the bat, you get a target letter. You are a target. You are the subject. Well, you get the hell out of there. You're done. You're finished, whatever it is. If you are a subject of an investigation, still not good. And a witness, nothing. Let's say you're in a bank and you saw a bank robbery and they want to indict the bank robber in federal court. You're a witness. Okay, no problem. But normally you don't want anybody to know what you're doing because the whole notion of the grand jury is important. The grand jury acts as a buffer. It's supposed to be a buffer between the sovereign and you, the citizen, to allow some cooler, calmer heads to decide who gets prosecuted and who doesn't. If you watched yesterday, it was so interesting to see Ashley Merchant say, I don't even know what the hell this is. She's the president of the Georgia Criminal Defense Lawyer Association. She's running, I don't know what a special, I know what a grand jury is, but a special. Frank J says, recently found your channel via the Fani DQ motion. Appreciate your insight and humor on the topic of cruises. I would recommend Circle Line, New York City. Well, you know what? I got to tell you something, and I thank you. And Circle Line is a wonderful, wonderful group of people. I hate, and I think I speak on behalf of Mrs. L. I don't want to go. I think hate cruises, hate them. I would rather drink bleach like a belt sander. Carpet tack my frenulum to particle board than to go on a cruise. I hate them. You end up going to these stupid ports of call that are dumb, unless it's really high end. And I don't see why you just don't fly there. How do I want to go down a cruise on a boat? What is this? The Titanic on a boat? You get the same lousy food all the time. They have different themes. Tonight is Mexican night. Isn't this the same stuff we had tonight? Roman night. Isn't this the same stuff? And you sit at the table with these people. I mean, and you walk around and you see these disgusting fat people sitting around laying outside. Oh my God. It's like, where did this come from? Where did this elegance come from? Maybe the Titanic, maybe ocean liners, maybe in the days of, Einstein coming over. But here on the west side in Chelsea, the Chelsea Piers, there's this display of what it looked like in the old days. It was so elegant. I mean, my God, Now? So with all due respect, no thanks on the cruises. Ixnay on the cruises. Not interested in the least. Just saying. But I know people who went, we were in the cruise. Oh, you walk in. You'll see. It's like being in a Howard Johnson's and they slam the door shut and all of a sudden it's like, I can't get off this damn thing. Want to go to the Lido deck? No. You want to go to the No. Now, if you want to get drunk out of your mind the whole time, there you go. There you go. Or you can pretend to. I think I've said my piece. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of cruises. Just saying. Just saying. Now, let's move on. So what happens next? Let's go back to the personalities here. Fani. What do you think they're telling her right now? Fani, you got to quit. Fani, I hope she's retained counsel. But knowing her, she probably says, no, you don't understand. I met with Kamala Harris. Fani, she doesn't know anything about Kamala. Kamala Harris, they don't know you. Remember when Eric Adams, who was the mayor of, is the mayor, unfortunately, of New York? He was on his way to D.C. and all of a sudden he had to turn around and go back because the FBI said, we're going to talk to you. Eric Adams? We're taking your phones. Eric Adams? Huh? What the hell was that about? We don't know. This woman is so guilty. I'm saying you better close the exposure and sit down. And by the way, while we're at it, this is just the most incredible thing during the course of this. And I'm telling you, and Ashley's coming back on it, by the way. This Senate hearing is more important than this case before Judge. Listen, I don't want to say anything bad about. I don't know this Judge McAfee. He could be a great guy and real smart, but he's like such a wimp. He is such a wimp. We've been in front of judges. Some judges are, even the nicest, there's this respect. You just don't. Oh my God. Anybody who remembers in our days, I was in the division of, very lucky to be in Hanging Harry Co. Wow. That was something. Those were a day. When he would say, listen, my friend, if he said my friend, that's it, you're done. If he called you pal, that's okay. Anything else? That's another cue too. Anything else? Anything else didn't mean anything else. It meant shut up. I can't tell you anything else. I can't tell you to shut up, but I can tell you anything else. And it was always his code. If he tells you anything else, shut up. People in mid-sentence would say, and more important to judge, anything else? Nothing. It's over with. It's done. This is a guy who, if you were a first timer, oh my God, you could have the worst case. You could be black, brown, Latino. I don't care who you are. First timer, put you on probation. Oh, they go, uh-oh. Did he put you on probation? Yeah. You better not do anything wrong. Because the real professional crooks never won probation. They'll do a year in a day in state prison versus probation. They can't do probation. You ever know? We have people we know who can't write emails. They can't organize anything. I know people who can't organize things. I don't know what it is. And you're going to ask them, now this is your probation officer. You got to call the probation officer. You got to go in. You got to check in. If there's a cost, pay your cost of supervision a month. If you change your job, if you're unemployed, you got to call. They can't do this. They don't know how to. You and I would say probation. Yes, of course. And probation, if you do it right, you get early termination because a probation officer is up to his head or her head in cases, and anything. Judge, he's done such a great job. I would not object to early termination. That's it. One less case for the probation officer, and your client is done. There's all you. A lawyer never stops working. You're always working behind the scenes. You know how it works. It's not just the courtroom. It's a lot of other stuff. Okay. So consequently, this guy, Judge McAfee, he has no control whatsoever. And I'm telling you right now, I swear to you, when she interrupts, she goes, no, you wait. This is the district attorney. What do you think this is? What do you think this, what do you think this is? What is this? She reminds me of a Karen. I keep telling you this. One of these crazed, demented people. These demented people who all of a sudden, out of nowhere, come, excuse me. All these people who come out of nowhere and disrupt and are discourteous to my courtroom, my system. It drives me crazy. And how this, if I had been there and she did that to me, rocking back in her chair, rocking back, looking like she's, I don't know what the word is. Dear God, I would have been absolutely done with this. Done. You would have been, I would have made such a, I would have made such a stink. Such a stink. Don't you ever talk to me like that. Don't you ever talk to me like that. Don't you ever. The contempt she showed. Rocking back and forth. Dear God. The contempt. I've had just a minute. Sorry. I've had judges go berserk. The legal term is apeshit. Pardon me, but it's a phrase. You get near a witness. When you walk towards them, yeah, they do on TV. It's like somebody go, okay, sorry about it. Oh, no. You can't get near a witness. How they do this on TV or a jury? There would be like this magical fence thing where it was incredible. This level of, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is, but I do know simply this. There is this, oh God. For you to interrupt, and here's the best one. If you lie to the judge, remember one thing, if I recall correctly, there was a rule of sequestration, and it's just referred to as the rule. And normally you invoke the rule. And the rule is this: any witness who's going to testify, go outside. You cannot sit in and hear other people testify. So you get up and say, yeah, like he said, You go outside and you wait and don't talk about it. It's understood. Sometimes there's a rule that says, well, if you want to come back, you can come back if you've already testified, and both sides will agree, okay, she's done. Because sometimes they're interested in whatever it is. But most of the time you say no. So they invoke the rule. She's out. Next thing you know, as they're arguing against her testifying, she barrels back in and says, I want to clear some things up. Clear some things up? How do you know what's going to be cleared up? What are you talking about, clearing things up? You weren't listening, were you? No. Yes, you were, weren't you? Well, maybe a little bit. Oh my God. This is unheard of. And for somebody to call up Bradley, I don't know you. I would have even asked permission. We need to talk. I'd have a special hearing. By the way, the most important, I don't know how they do it in Fulton, but in certain places, you want to get on that docket? The most important person in the world is a judge's secretary or judicial assistant or whatever you want to call it. That's the one. I got to talk. Judge, Your Honor, Judge McAfee, I need a clarification from the court. I want this on the record. What is it? I want to talk to Mr. Bradley, but I don't know if I can do this. He could be our witness. I I'm in a unique position. I have a motion to quash the subpoena, but I want to talk to him. I don't even know what he is. Theoretically, they're friends. Is he the defense? Is this a defense witness? I mean, this is the best part. Listen to this. Normally, you have the prosecution and the defense, right? Okay. Prosecution and the defense. Prosecution witnesses are the cops, FBI, lab people, the victim, the people, the defense, the prosecution. Defense lawyers normally have the defendant, rebuttal witnesses, witnesses that can try to rebut. They go, I wasn't there, and that never happened. Here you've got Gabe Banks, who is a defense lawyer. Okay, sort of. Wait a minute. You've got the defense, you've got Ashley subpoenaing Terrence Bradley. Gabe Banks, who's a defense lawyer, whose wife happens to work for the film, is filing a motion to quash and say, who are you, based upon her talking to your client, who is one of the prosecutors. What? You want to call wait a minute, one of the prosecutors? You don't hear this. I've never had a case where you subpoena the prosecutor. What? This is crazy. Or as you would say, insane. Notice how the kids say everything is insane. This is insane. It's the best case. It's the best in the world. I've never seen anything like it. It's fantastic. It gets better and better and better. So now this is the greatest. I hope people can keep track of this, because the stories are just, I would love to do the movie of the week on this one. It's fantastic. Terrence Bradley. Who would who'd be great for Terrence Bradley? What is his name? Oh God. What is his name? He would be terrific. Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker, he'd have to gain some weight, but Forrest Whitaker to get that confused look. That confused, because that's Bradley. What? This is the best. This is the best witness. Everybody else is like this. Fani does this. Nathan does this. And then Terrence is over here like this. Terrence is so goddamn confused, he doesn't know what he's doing. This is the best. Terrence, what are you doing? I don't know. Terrence, yeah? Terrence, this is Ashley on the phone. Hi, Ashley. Yeah, listen, Terrence. Ashley Burson, I know who you are. Just making sure. By the way, 400 likes. I need 800. Just saying. Just saying. Don't want to put the pressure on you, but it really helps. You know how these people are with their algorithms. Terrence, this is Ashley. Yeah? Listen. I'm going to try to keep your name out of this. Okay. No, seriously. Terrence, do you know what you're doing? Yeah. I'm, of course, making... I'm adding a lot of theatrical leeway to this, but Terrence, you know what you're doing? Yeah. Terrence, hope you understand something here. This could basically ruin your career. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you don't have any problem with this, right? No. Our good friend Lou Lewis says, I think Ashley said that the phone calls came in September before the motion to dismiss was filed. Fani could make the argument that Bradley still worked for him at the time. Well, yeah. I think though, let me see. There's one particular point. Well, let me clarify something. And by the way, touche, Lou Lewis. Lou Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Lou, when you're the prosecutor, you've got to say, whoa, wait a minute, hold it. This isn't just Terrence Bradley I'm calling. I'm calling him to say, you don't, when you have to, you've got to be very careful. never to tell somebody what to say, how to react, especially when litigation or prosecution is pending. It's pending. All of this is pending. That's the most important thing in the world. It's pending. It's the most, I don't know how to say it. You've got to say, wait a minute, I can't say, well, technically he worked for me. No. But Lou, what is she doing? She's basically calling up and saying, in essence, hey, what are you talking about? Nothing. No, seriously, what are you talking about? Nothing. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. You sure about that? Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Now, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to say, listen, with all due respect, my friend, I'm not going to talk to you. I just think it's a good idea, Mr. Bradley, that we just, completely, because I'm getting all kinds of news. But here's the best. I wish this would go to a jury, but it won't. But this is I would do this. If I'm defending her, I would do this. Ryan says, would another DA even pick up the case if Fani is dismissed or treated as irrevocably damaged? Great question, Ryan. Number one, he or she would have to take up the case, but what he or she does with it, different story. You could dismiss it. That could be political idiocy or the best thing you ever did, or you could take it and maybe pare it down. But the best part, you're going to have to say, hey, listen, I got to get with these witnesses. I got to go back to the grand jury testimony. I'm going to have to bring over Fulton County investigators, and it's a mess. You get this thing delayed, and basically it kills the case. It's dead. It's dead in the water. But remember, the question I have, Ryan, is Fani going to do the right thing? So dig this. Closing argument. This is terrible. This poor guy's going to... I'm Terrence Bradley. Hi, Ashley. Terrence, can I use your name? Yes. You sure about that? Yes. Terrence, this is one of the biggest. You can do it. Terrence, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure that you can testify that they had a relationship? By the way, at this particular point, with all this witness tampering and to me racketeering, who cares about that? Anyway, but Terrence, can you actually testify? Yes. Are you able to say that they were having an affair relationship before the... Absolutely. Are you sure about that? Yeah. Okay. You can do it. All right, Terrence. Thanks. Okay. Ms. Monty, it's Merchant. Yes, what you call Terrence Bradley? Mr. Bradley, remember me? Huh? Terrence, it's me, Ashley. What? Terrence, didn't you tell me that you knew that they were having a relationship before 20? I don't want to speculate. You don't want to speculate? What the hell are you talking about? Skibro the Hebrew says, question, Nathan is getting paid $250 an hour. I think it was 200. How do you break that down in... Okay. All right. You are a funny man or woman. I don't know. Mr. Bradley, why aren't you talking to me? I don't know. You don't, wait a minute. You said speculation. You're saying it's speculation? Could be speculation. But when you told me that there was no speculation, yeah. What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Wait a minute. Then you got banks calling up. Are you the leak? No. So I guess he's lying in. And that's my thing too. So he should have said, yes, I'm the leak. Of course I'm the leak. I'm not even leaking. It's the truth, damn it. I'm an officer of the court. I don't leak. But chances are, Terrence said, no, I don't know anything about that. You sure about that? No. I don't know anything about that. Okay, so he's basically kind of lying to Ashley when he said to be speculating. He's lying to banks. Then later on, when he's meeting with Cindy Lee Yeager, all of a sudden, I got a phone call. Go ahead, take it here. Hello? Yeah, it's Fani. Yeah, Fani. I don't have to tell anybody anything. What do you mean? Are you threatening me, Fani? No. Okay. Who was that? It's Fani. She's reminding me I don't have to say anything. What you talking about, Willis? I mean, this is wild. He doesn't remember any of this. Then Yurty who basically can't stand Fani, who sublet the apartment, their secret love nest. Remember the love nest? Remember she lived, what, in South Fulton, whoever it was? At the place she had to move from because of all the threats from the MAGA people. But her man, her father, the guy who doesn't pay cash, pays cash because it's a black thing. He's there, completely unprotected, completely unafraid. He's there. It's the most beautiful story in the world. Would you say, Dad, you're not going to stay there? No, I'm moving out. Technically, so I can box this guy, but I'm moving out because of the threats. Yeah, what are you doing here? I just don't want to move around because of the COVID. Because of the COVID. I don't even think COVID hit then yet. What are you talking about? The story takes on these ridiculous, because they lie and never make sure whether the lie has anything to do with reality. They just keep changing, keep larding on this whole thing. So here comes Terrence. Let me tell you something, Terrence. If this were the Clinton family, you wouldn't be worth a plug nickel. I wouldn't start my car by myself if I were you. So far, you're going after Fani, the law, well, technically speaking, Wade, the whole system. You've got, they're pissed off at you. The defense bar is not crazy. What do you think you're going to do with your career after this? Who's going to listen to you? Nobody's going to want to talk to you. Why were you giving all this up? Whatever possessed you to talk to a defense lawyer who basically is getting Fani dismissed? Wade's, Gumara, or whatever you see how great this is? And I say it again. I repeat it again. I repeat it again and again and again and again. All they had to do, all she had to do was, number one, admit to it. And all she has to do now is just say, you know what? Keep it. I'll step down. That's it. I'll step down. And you know who's going to be? What? And you know who doesn't want that? Ashley. Ashley Merchant says, what? Yeah, she stepped down. She did? Yeah. Now it's going to be in DeKalb County. Not DeKalb, DeKalb. They're going to move it. Really? Yeah. Was anybody going to be? Fani's not involved. And nobody will care about it. You happy? You got the DQ. You happy? Oh, sort of, yeah. This is good. I mean, this is good. You got a much better chance of having the case dropped against Roman. But no more courtroom histrionics, no more coverage. Nobody will care about this. If Fani's not involved in this, who cares? Nobody cares about this. Wow. So see, that's the thing. Fani could double cross them all, interestingly enough, by taking off. But she can't. She can't. I don't want to use the term psychopath, sociopath. I don't know. I've never met her. But if you told me she was, I swear to God, I'd say, you know what? It's completely consistent. She has no appreciation for a consequence. None. She thinks she could talk her way out of anything. She thinks she's better than you and smarter than you and more brilliant. She really does. Honest to God. The way she talked with just this, the way she sat in that courtroom, you have no idea. Rocking back and forth, looking at that judge. Oh, God. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now, my friends, I'm going to take one quick moment to catch a breather here. And I want you to listen very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. From our good friends, when we talk about this, when I first did this, I always said, I want to make sure. I think there are some things that just make sense. Always having emergency food in case of catastrophe, supply breakdowns, whatever it is. And the best of the best of the best is our good friends at preparewithlionel.com. Let's talk about a very serious subject, emergency food. That's right, emergency food. I know. At first blush, it's difficult for most people to think about something that they just take for granted, ever reaching emergency status. We're used to stores always being open, deliveries always made, no supply chain disasters, no ransomware catastrophes, none of that stuff. Nothing shutting down our gas stations, right? No trucking strikes, no war, no protests from farmers, nothing catastrophic in terms of weather. Nope, that can't happen to us. And I understand it's a defense mechanism that we have because the idea of ever not being able to eat or locate food is seemingly incomprehensible. Well, it's not. That's why it's time for you to go to my site, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com has the deal of deals for you. Now take it as a starter set. You've been putting off emergency food for too long. Some people still have a thing about prepping as though preparing for emergency is foolish. Now, right now, you can save $60 on a 4-week emergency supply kit. This is unbelievable. 16 varieties with a 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day in 2 beautifully modular buckets that weigh 38 pounds total. These are waterproof and they're perfectly stackable. 4 weeks, a month. Now, be honest, could you go a week without any trips to any store? I'm not talking about having stuff in your cabinet. I'm not talking about banana chips and jerky. I mean food, real food. So go right now to preparewithlionel.com, right now, right this moment, preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. You'll thank me, trust me. All right, my friends. Now, the plot thickens. And let me just remind you, let me bring you up to speed on something here, which is very, very critical. This case is important for a number of reasons. Number one, it teaches you this so much. I hope you've learned about how things work and how the courts work and that sort of thing. That's number one. Number two, I hope you've recognized the fact that that's something about this lawyer for the county. Now, this is the district attorney. This is what she is. This is what Fani Willis is. She represents the people of Fulton County. She is their district attorney. She brings cases, criminal cases, on their behalf when they have been affronted, when they have been bothered, when they have been harmed. Because remember what a criminal case is. A criminal case is the state, the federal government, whomever. It is the state versus the defendant or defendants versus Donald Trump and Michael Roman and others as well. So the state of Georgia for Fulton County, this particular judicial district, if you will, versus she represents two people, the state, but also justice. I can't say this enough. I can't put this into perspective. Courts have said repeatedly, they've held it to this high standard that it is monumentally incumbent upon you, the prosecutor, to understand specifically that you represent justice. Justice, not some kind of cockamamie, whatever. Justice. That's who you represent. You just don't guarantee convictions. And we've seen things lately in the case of Alvin Bragg, in the case of Letitia James, who ran for office and basically said, I'm going to get Donald Trump. They said this. This was their rallying cry. This was their move. They're going to get, this is what they said. It defies logic. To me, it's per se actionable. Per se. That's number one. Number two, when she goes out of her way, by the way, they're talking about this thing called forensic obstruction, where she went out and not only contaminated the jury pool, but went out and basically talked about this case right after they had filed these motions to black churches and saying they're coming after me because I'm a proud black woman and this and that, and excoriating and vilifying Donald Trump and others before there's even been a trial. This is the mentality of this woman. You've got to understand something. I'm not an expert in this, but if this is not a psychopath, I don't know what the hell is. No appreciation for consequence, glib, absolutely self-destructive in the way they think, in the way they act. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And nothing happens to her. Nothing. Then she takes the stand and commits perjury repeatedly before the judge. Commits perjury, lying over and over. Raul Rodriguez says, well, with Fani gone, is Trump in the clear? No. But as a practical, it's a good question, by the way. But as a practical matter, the case loses all. You don't want somebody else's case. It's like when you do substitution of counsel, you don't want somebody else's case to jump into it. It wasn't yours. You didn't have any say in whether it will be filed or not. No. But the thing, Raul, is such a stench to it. There's such a rancid stench to this case there's no other way of saying it other than the fact that it's the funk, the horrid, rancid funk. It's just, I mean, my God, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So you have that. Then you have this self-dealing. She's got her little office. She hires her boy toy and his law firm and calls them special, hiring them to do stuff that's just ridiculous. Taint hearing or taint officer to find out whether there's any kind of a problem in privileged communications. I mean, just make work. It is just rank party politics, corruption at levels I can't even imagine. Gino says, if the judge does not let in the additional evidence, what is stopping the defense from filing a new motion to disqualify? 3 months from now, she does something else, they are not barred from on filing a new motion? Very, very good. First and foremost, the judge absolutely, positively, 100% has to allow this information to be allowed. This 100%. There is no way anybody would ever understand or allow this judge or anybody not to allow this in for purposes that just make no sense whatsoever. He has to do it. He's got plenty of time. Quote, out of an abundance of caution. You're going to hear this repeatedly. Out of an abundance of caution. Of course you can have. What? Newly discovered evidence. Newly discovered. Judge, you have to do this. You have to do this, Judge. Why? It's called newly discovered evidence. We need this, Judge. We need this. We didn't know this would happen. We knew nothing about this. Okay, you got it. You see how that works? It's fantastic. It's one of those things where, now, while we're on the subject, not to get too arcane here, sometimes I think it always shocks people how little newly allowed evidence comes in, especially in terms of appeals. Where all of a sudden somebody says, hey, 5 years later, guess what? We found out somebody who admitted to the crime. Well, we're not sure. Time may have elapsed. What? You would think that anytime you have new evidence of non-guilt, you think somebody would be. Sometimes it's allowed, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there are barriers to time limits and the like. But in this case, oh, no. Absolutely. Now, friends, let me ask you a favor. Let me tell you something right now. I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. Mrs. L has the best, the most important and critical YouTube channel on human trafficking, child predation, digital safety, what every parent, every grandparent, every caregiver, every concerned citizen should know about what is happening to our children. It is beyond horrible. You can follow Lynn's Warriors on X or Twitter at Lynn's_Warriors and YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. I want you to go to YouTube at Lynn's Warriors. There it is. That's the sign right there. And I want you to go and I want you to sign up immediately. Because, my friends, as we are talking, as we discuss this, and it's most fascinating and so relevant, There are constant horrors going on, as you know, around the world at levels that are just inexplicable, indescribable, beyond horrid. So think about that. So, Gino, dear friend, thank you so much for your kindness. Raul Rodriguez, what can I say? And also, thank you for the beautiful, beautiful addition to my Trump memorabilia. I appreciate that as well. Let me see who else we have here. Just 1 second. There we go. To Skibro the Ebro. Very funny. Thank you so much for your kindness. Ryan, Lou Lewis, everybody. Frank J. Invisible, thank you. Willie Will, thank you immensely. Kind sir, madam, or they. I do not know, but thank you. And Fred Brown and his band of renown, thank you as well for that. You have been more than beautiful. All right, my friends. New videos coming later. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Don't forget to follow Mrs. Earl at Lynn's Warriors. Believe me when I say this. We're going to keep, this thing keeps just evolving and devolving and transmuting and metastasizing. And we're going to be there. And it is, to me, one of the most fascinating cases that I would have never thought would be this interesting, this quickly, and at this level. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight at 7 p.m. But don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.